Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Senior Fellow at the Media Research Center. We have a saying down south that goes something like this. Sometimes even a blind squirrel can find an acorn. And what do I use that little southern euphemism to refer to? Well, just recently we know that there's been a little kerfluffle that got started with a tweet from President Trump to Representative Elijah Cummings of Maryland, specifically the Baltimore area. And what I think President Trump kind of stumbled on, I really don't think he intentionally knew what he was about to uncover, was the failure of progressive socialist policies in our inner cities, not just in Baltimore, but all across the United States of America. As a matter of fact, USA Today this past February of 2019 had an article that listed the top 25 most dangerous cities in the United States of America. Well, the top 10 are all run by, you got it, Democrats. And what was number 3 on the list of the most dangerous cities in the United States of America? Baltimore. What President Trump has somehow enabled us to recognize, and this is something that the Republican Party has failed to bring to the attention of the American people, is the fact that when you look at what has happened since, well, the New Deal, the Great Society, the Civil Rights Act, about the past 55 years, the progressive socialist left, aka the Democrat Socialist Party, has created a 21st century economic plantation in many of the inner cities in the United States of America. And it starts when you look at the fact that there has been an incredible decimation of the traditional, nuclear, two-parent black family. That means a mother and a father in the home. And you look at the breakdown of the family and what that has led to. It has led to the rise of gangs, because without a doubt, when you have these young black men who don't have responsible fathers in the home, they go to look for something to belong to. And if they don't have something positive to belong to, then they seek out the thing that is negative. And that's where these gangs have come about. But even the lack of quality education opportunities. Think about it. In April of 2009, it was, well, the first black president of the United States of America, some would say, Barack Hussein Obama, who canceled the DC school voucher program. Yes, President Barack Obama told young minority students who had earned that ability to be able to break away from the failing public school systems there in DC that, well, they didn't have that equality of opportunity. And he said that as he sent his 2 daughters to the prestigious Sidwell Friends, as he told other young black kids and minority kids that they had to leave. And when you think about the inability to have school vouchers, school choice programs in the inner cities, well, that's because of one of the biggest contributors to the Democrat Party, teachers' unions. Even Bill DeBlasio went after one of the most successful charter schools in New York City, Success Academy, located in Harlem. See, once upon a time, the Democrats stood outside of the doors, not allowing black children to come into these schools and these places of higher education. But see, now they stand inside the doors, not allowing our children to come out. And if you look at Baltimore or many of the inner cities in Atlanta, Georgia, that's just what you see. When you think about another one of the contributing factors to the decimation and the degradation of the inner city communities, think about the high levels of crime. Tragedies such as what we saw this past weekend in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, they're horrific. But what we should do is not cherry pick which tragedies are more important than others. Because just about every single weekend, there's a horrific amount of shootings that occur in all the major inner cities of the United States of America. But for some odd reason, those tragedies aren't covered. Neither are the tragedies of now since 1973, Roe versus Wade. We're approaching 20 million black babies that have been murdered in the womb. Those are the type of things that, for whatever reason, are not talked about. And consider this. Planned Parenthood, an organization that was founded by a white supremacist, a racist, a woman who spoke at Klan rallies, Margaret Sanger, they have over 70% of their clinics located, yes, in inner city communities, minority communities, mainly black communities. But for some odd reason, that little truth is not getting out widespread. But Donald Trump has done something. As I said, the blind squirrel that found the golden acorn. He has exposed the failures of these policies. He has exposed these members of the Congressional Black Caucus who, well, they're kind of the new overseers on these 21st century economic plantations. And why is it that we don't hear from the NAACP? Why is it that we don't hear from the National Urban League? Because mainly these organizations are just, well, pawns of the Democrat Party. They're not really interested in what is happening in these communities that they say they represent. They just rather would be, well, they want to be kept in power. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, why are they not talking about these concerns? So what is happening in the United States of America is that now there's a challenge that's going out to the Black community. Donald Trump said, "What have you got to lose?" back in 2016. He was absolutely right. But what we are losing is our families, future generations, quality education opportunities, small business entrepreneurship. We're losing our lives, our liberties, and our pursuit of happiness in these minority communities. That's what Donald Trump has somehow stumbled upon for us to see.